Howdy folks, and welcome back to Frieren Beyond Journey's End. Today we're going to be watching Season 1, Episode 2, which is titled, It Didn't Have to Be Magic, which is just kind of a goofy sounding title for this very, very serious show. And on that note, it's gonna take me a little bit to kind of get in the right headspace of where I should be for these reactions. Each show kind of has its own feel. Some shows I just try to make as many jokes as I possibly can all the time. Other shows, just generally lend themselves to silly commentary, as it were, which is, where I feel like I do my best in coming up with random jokes, impromptu, all that kind of stuff. But Frieren is a completely different beast. I know I made a lot of comparisons to Dungeon Meshi last time, but the more I've been thinking about it, I'm kind of in my head comparing it to Hilda a little bit, in that, Dungeon Meshi, like I said, is more so about like the whole group in the dungeon, the four of them trying to find Fallon, Laios' sister, whereas here it's mostly centered just around Frieren, and every other character seems to be ancillary to her. So that kind of makes me feel like more like Hilda, and also just kind of the vibes. Like, Hilda was a very cozy show, and while I've only seen the one episode of Frieren so far, I kind of feel the same way. Yes, emotionally devastating, that first episode was, but at the same time, like, I feel like a coziness to it, like that there's so much care put into every frame, every background drawn. I love the art style, the music is great, like everything, like I think I said last time, I just want to throw on a big warm blanket while watching this. And that, that's kind of how Hilda was for a lot of it. So I'm curious to see if this comparison lasts, but a couple housekeeping things from last time. Number one, I have been made aware that the first 4 episodes, I think, of Frieren all aired together as like a big special kind of thing, which is why, perhaps why I was thinking at the very end of that episode, like, wow, that feels like it just stopped, like mid-conversation, right? Probably because it was immediately followed up by the next one when it aired, as well as, the 4 of them when they hit streaming, which I'll go into here in a second. The 4 of them dropped together, and then I think we got 1 episode weekly releases after that, which also kind of makes up for why there's 28 episodes in this first season as compared to usual. I feel like there's usually like 13 or 13, right? Or in the case of Dungeon Meshi, there's 24. Sometimes there's either 12 or 13, I think. 14 and 14 make 28, so that sounds weird. But if you take the 4 out of the 28, you're left with 2 chunks of 12, basically, which makes a lot more sense to me. But the other thing I wanted to say about streaming is last week I was watching the Netflix version, Japanese audio with English closed captioning, and I've been made aware that that is considered the bad subtitles, that it really does not match up to what they are saying. And as I was watching it, it didn't really strike me as too odd. Yes, I got like the leaves rustling sound effects described down at the bottom of the screen, or takes a deep breath or something like that. But when I was in editing, I realized that oftentimes, like, the words would start being said and the subtitles were a little bit off of that, especially when a character was like speaking off screen or something, or narrating. You'd expect the subtitle to show up right when the character starts speaking and cut off very shortly after they finish speaking, but it didn't really match up. But I've been made aware that the subtitles on Netflix are basically the dub, but put down there. So I'm basically getting the Netflix English translation of this, which I've heard very mixed things about. I have some friends who say they enjoy the English dub. More specifically, I think for Frieren's performance, whoever the voice actor is who plays Frieren apparently does a really good job. But I've heard the translation itself is a bit lacking. So we are over on Crunchyroll now, hopefully. Thank you for watching these videos and helping me fund a Crunchyroll subscription, because I did not have one before. But yeah, so hopefully I have the good subtitles. Hopefully that's cleared up. Thank you all for telling me. And if there's anything else I'm missing, or hopefully not, but fundamentally misunderstanding about the show, please let me know. Let's scooch over and watch as I continue to thank you for watching me watch this thing. Hey, while you're here, do all the YouTube things. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you leave a like on this video. As I'm recording this, the first episode has not gone up live yet, so I don't know how well it was received or poorly it was received, but I guess we'll see. Regardless, thank you for being here. Thank you for presumably coming back, and if you're new here, go watch episode 1, go check out my channel, see what else I've done. We have Patreon, link in the description below if you want to see these uncut, unedited. I have to do funky stuff editing for YouTube, especially with subtitles, keep them down there. But if you don't want to deal with any of that, there's a link to Patreon for those. Don't have to, but you do get a little bit ahead of the YouTube feed. Like I said, episode 1 hasn't gone up on YouTube, but here I am recording episode 2. So I'm about a week ahead. I always strive to be about 2 weeks ahead, but it might take me a while to get there. But regardless, let's get started with Frieren episode 2 as this blinding white screen as this episode starts to greet me. Let's start up with episode 2. What was it called? Usually when I have Netflix, I can check the title, but Crunchyroll doesn't like to give the title. Something like, did it have to be magic? Starting up in 3, 2, 1, go. I will say, after editing and spending a little bit more time with episode 1, especially this OP, I really like this song. This is a bop. Yeah, I know we're probably going to get additional OPs as we go, but this one's a bop. Like, especially for how serious and somber the show is, this one, I love it. And it's got that kind of electronic effect on the voice, which is so far removed from everything else we know about the show so far. Okay, and now that I have an episode behind me, I'm looking at these characters. We have not met this red and black... Oh, and my tea. Vanilla Komuro is what I'm drinking tonight. But yeah, okay. That's a cool shot. Where you see, her new party and her old party kind of, diverge to either side. But then it comes out to, the two halves of Frieren. That's slick. I like that. Okay, so we are picking up right away with the magic lesson that I was saying probably should have ended that last episode. Need to hit the gym, get your reps in. Yeah, and there's another oh, years, whatever, that's fine for me, but once again, Fern being a human might not, presumably she's a kid and she has a lot more years in front of her, but still just another kind of time thing. Also, speaking of the English dub, I intended to go back and... Oh, what did that snowman ever do to you? Poor Frosty. It was his birthday, don't you know? It's a lot more of him than I expected to see. I was starting to make a point, but now, once again, dude just loves being out there, huh? Okay, so I don't know what season it was when she got here, but it at least seems like she's spending a decent amount of time here now. I know she said she would help him with his grimoire, right? 4 years, okay.
それでも一人前になるのはまだ先のことだ。魔導書の解読の方が早く終わるよ。
Yeah, and then I move on and I can't take her with me, right? Despite everything she's learned, I still won't take her, right? Oh no. Well, I don't know if that was a death? Okay, no, he's still alive, okay. We'll never be able to go skinny dipping again. I learned that word recently. So, I don't think I've said in this series, but my family and I are taking a trip to Japan later this year as I'm recording this, in November. And so I've been trying to pick up a couple things here and there. So it's fun watching a show that's in Japanese. I hear things. And so as I'm trying to pick up little conversational things here and there, onegaishimasu is a very polite way to say thank you. Or please. So, yeah. So, but thank you would be arigatou gozaimasu, right? So So I'm picking some things up here. So if I stop and give myself a little Japanese vocabulary lesson, please forgive me, okay?
フェルン、修行は中止だ。ハイターが倒れた。そばにいてやってくれ。まだ一番いいは打ち抜けておりません。それはいずれ必ずできることだ。今はいずれではダメなのです。
I like that they're thinking about this from different
ハイター様が
different points of view. Frieren saying you need to be with him while he's still here, and Fern saying I have to master this before he leaves. That's really interesting.
今死ぬのはもったいないと思いますよ。もうずいぶん前になりますか。
Did Fern
Did
Fern help regrow this entire area?
ひたすらにまっすぐで困っている人を決して見捨てないような人間でした。
But it's never too late for me to change, right?
ふと気がついてしまいまして。私がこのまま死んだら、彼から学んだ勇気や意志や友情や大切な思い出まで。
Wow, and that's crazy for him to say, knowing that how he was talking back in episode 1. I'd like to think that my spot in heaven has already been reserved because I was part of this group that saved the world, right? And him saying, what if I never accomplish anything? That's wild. Unless he was just talking big to Frieren back then. Yeah, and in turn, he wanted to do that kindness for her. She wants to do this kindness for him. And I'll take care of Heiter. Ooh, and I love that little glissando down on the piano as the books were flying off the shelf. God, I didn't talk about it last time, but the music in the show is so good too. I mentioned the visuals looking like stuff you'd see out of the Shire. But the music too. Even the shot of her staff, like, as it was just kind of like, hold on, does she do it? I need to know if she blasted that rock. But yeah, even the shot of just her staff, like, kind of like, just slightly moving, like the animation on it was so clean.
死への恐怖は計り知れないものです。そんなものがあるなら、エイビヒ自身が使っていたでしょう。
じゃあなぜ
I wanted to see you again.
どうなりましたか？
一人前と言っても遜色のないレベルだよ。
そうですか。間に合いましたか。もう足手まといではありませんね。
Yeah.
測ったな、ハイター。
Hey, I've always been a shitty priest, right?
解読の手間賃は机の引き出しに。今夜にはここを立ってください。私はあの子にこれ以上誰かを失うような経験をさせたくないのです。
Also, to a certain extent, you, Frieren. He remembers how distraught she was at Himmel's passing, right?
フェルンはとっくに別れの準備はできている。お前が死ぬまでにやるべきことは、あの子にしっかりと別れを告げて、なるべくたくさんの思い出を作ってやることだ。
Yeah. And could it be a little bit of projection from Frieren herself?
なんでフェルンを救ったの？
Yeah.
勇者ヒンメルならそうしました。
There's just such a, like I said, like even though we're talking about death and parting and never seeing people again, like there's just such a warmth to this show so far. Yep, she did blast a hole in that rock.
そうするとするかな。ありがとうございました。
She hears a voice from beyond. I told you I gave it up.
じゃあ行こうか。
It didn't have to be magic. Well, at least the translation's there. Unlike, like I said, in Netflix, I was like, I don't know what that said. I think the episode was just titled The Journey's End or something. 26 years after the death of Himmel. Okay, so we picked up... Hold on a second. I need to do math. So that was 20 years after the death of Himmel. And I love how that's kind of our baseline. That's like our BCE and AD. It's the years since the death of Himmel the hero seems to really be like, yes, we had the whole journey, everything beforehand that we saw little glimpses of in the first episode, but it really seems to be, none of that matters. It's all about the death of Himmel is what is really kicking all of this off. It's, it's what unlocked something in Frieren's brain to make her be like, oh, I need to learn more and be a better person, basically, right? Not necessarily a better person, but like more understanding of others, right? But anyway, to continue on with the math that I was doing, it was 20 years since Himmel's death, and then it was 4 years of training Fern, being with Heiter, and translating the grimoire, right? So this would be, I think, 2 years after that. So Frieren and Fern have been together for presumably about 2 years. I mean, we don't know if he died right after all that time. He seemed to be on the decline anyway. So we'll assume it was pretty shortly after. So maybe somewhere between 1.5 to 2 years since those last scenes that we saw. Okay, just trying to keep everything straight since we're jumping through time so damn much in this show.
おかげで助かりました。こちらは約束の報酬です。
地味な仕事ばかりでございますね。冒険者なんてこんなものだよ。
Yeah, it's called Sidequests.
民間魔法。温かいお茶が出てくる魔法だって。後で
Cheers, Frieren!
この前
So
は
excited.
銅像の錆をきれいに取る魔法。それまた前は甘いブドウを酸っぱいブドウに変える魔法。
Yo, if I had the spell for like conjuring hot tea, I don't think I would cast anything else. I'd be like, I can stop adventuring. I found the spell.
もういいのかしら。私は薬草家だから教えられそうな魔法はないのだけ
Hey,
れ
an
ど。
herbalist. You need some tea?
ここよ。
勇者ヒンメル様の
I was gonna say, that's not the same statue as
ひどい
before,
あり
right?
さまでしょ。年寄り一人ではもうどうしようもなくてね。村の人たちはもう関心がないのよ。
Yeah, it's been 76 years? Oh, nice.
ヒンメル様は村が魔物に襲われた時必死に戦ってくれたのに、こんな仕打ちはあまりにもかわいそ
So
うだ
that guy really was a hero.
自業自得だね。目立ちたがり屋のヒンメルが悪い。
Damn. Dude did love his statues, it
この
seemed,
ポー
right?
ズイケメンすぎない？
ポーズに18時間悩んで職人さんブチギレさせるし。
Yeah.
結局バカみたいに無難なポーズに落ち着いたんだよね。
You know, I have an old friend who is a painter, and she was teaching like a community painting kind of thing, and she would have people that she would know would come in and do like modeling. And I went in one time and I was like, oh, I'll just bring an acoustic guitar and I'll just set up and have people like, just record me doing this. And I think I started, and if I can get my fingering right, I did a G chord, which let me come over here to do it. If you play guitar, the G chord is like this, and your wrist is bent like that. And after a little bit of time, my wrists just started to hurt from just being bent like that for so long. And so eventually, like halfway through, I was like, I need to change what I'm doing. And I ended up doing a D chord, which the fingering is like this and your wrist is a lot more straight. And that was a lot easier to maintain. So I said all that to say, it's funny. I've been doing reactions for over 3 years now, I think. And I feel like there's stories that I end up telling like once per series, I feel like. But I don't think I've ever told that story. I don't think I could find any pictures, because I took pictures of the things, because people, they had like an hour to do what they could to paint me, right? Paint me like one of your French guitar players. No, I was fully clothed. It was not a nude modeling thing, but I don't think I would ever do that. But I said all that to say, like, I understand that like you want to do something like cool or whatever, but sometimes, you just got to finger the right chord that keeps your wrist straight and keeps your wrist from hurting. But yeah, I mean, that makes a lot more sense now, where he's talking about the statue in the last episode, saying like, I hope they get all my features right. Now I have a little bit more context for that, and I think that's really neat. I kind of hope we keep doing that as the show goes on. We just get like more and more context and little snippets of their adventures back there. And I love that it's so formative to like just everything that's followed, and we didn't get it. Just bits and pieces here and there. I love that as a storytelling device. I feel like, you know, not to judge myself already, but I feel like I'm having a lot better time like doing a reaction in this episode 2 than I was in episode 1. Granted, by this time I was like fighting back tears in episode 1, but hey, what can you do? Anyway, let's get back to it. Maybe they'll erect a statue of her for cleaning up the statue of him. It's a shame it wasn't made out of bronze, though.
彩りが欲しいわね。後で花でも植えようかしら。
フリーレン様、花畑を出す魔法使えましたよね。そうだね。何か適当
No,
な花でも。
she wants to do the hard work herself. Oh?
草月草の花がいいか。それはどのような花なのですか？知らない。見たことないから。ではなぜ？
Because he mentioned it.
故郷の花だ。
Ah.
でも見たことない花は魔法では。
I could try. Just come out looking like shit.
草月草。懐かしい名前ね。
Oh no, now we have to go on a side quest for our side quest.
奥にも群生地があったんだけれどもね。絶滅したのよ。この大陸での目撃例はもう何十年もないわ。
Alright, well screw it. Just do whatever you want, lady.
何か隠したね。怒らないから見せなさい。
Oh.
シードラットだね。種を食べる害獣だよ。じゃあフェルン、草月草を探しに行こうか。本気でございますか？少し前までこの森の奥に群生地が。何十年も前です。でも探すか。
Does she have a time traveling spell? Oh god, that would be a whole new can of worms for this show, huh?
ヒンメル様のためですか？いや、きっと自分のためだ。
Yeah, in an effort to try to understand them better. Very graceful. Have you ever fallen out of bed? I fell out of bed one time when I was a kid. Yeah, we are just doing a side quest for our side quest, aren't we?
フリーレン様、草月草を探し始めてからもう半年。
That's dedication to the side quest. She's going for that platinum trophy. Don't tell me this lady is gonna die too. Freshly conjured.
このままでは何年でも何十年でも探し続
Yeah,
けてしまう。
and I don't have that kind of time.
ありもしないもののために時間を使うだなんて
Damn.
あってはならないことです。
I mean, that's a really blunt way to put it, huh?
そうは思わないわ。
She could have said wasting her time.
でもフリーレンさんにとっては違うのでしょうね。だけど彼女の方が私たちよりもずっと大人だから、その気持ちを素直に伝えればきっと分かってくれるはずよ。
Are those the seeds and she just had them the whole time?
薬効があるため保管されていた禁煙種の種だそうです。
Alright, close
こ
enough.
れを代わりにヒンメル様の像の周りに植えるというのは。分かったよフェルン。心配させてしまったね。
Her head is also not for patting.
もう少し探したら切り上げるよ。もう少しって何年ですか？もう少しだよ。
Soon, TM. Literally the definition of soon, TM. Oh, you shitty little squirrel.
追いかけてみようか。
Oh. Interesting. And that's where they're gonna be, right?
フリーレン様はなぜ魔法を集めているのですか？ただの趣味だよ。
Can you imagine, you know, as I keep making all the video game references, like picking magic in a battle screen for her and having to scroll down like pages and pages to find the specific spell you want? In an active time battle system? Oh, is that her field of flowers she conjured? Ah,
気持ち悪い。
look at Eisen. Gross.
私の集めた魔法を褒めてくれたバカがいた。それだけだよ。
Was it Himmel? Did he love her? Analysis complete.
餌を外敵のいない安全な場所に埋めて隠すと言われている。よく埋めた場所を忘れるんだ。
Damn, that flying spell is cool too.
僕の故郷の花でね。とても美しいんだ。まあ、僕ほどではないんだけどね。
そろそろ行こ
フリーレン。
Nice.
いつか君に見せてあげる。
Oh man.
う。そう。機会があればね。
Yeah, now look at the smile on her face. Wow, he never got to show her, but she still got to see.
遅くなったね。ヒンメル。
But I got to see them. Is this how every episode's gonna go? Because here I was thinking like, oh, hold on. I feel like we're about to be done with this episode. I'll hold that thought. I'll try to remember it at the end. Did it have to be magic?
別に魔法じゃなくたって。でも魔法を選んだ。そうですね。
本当に綺麗。ありがとうね、フリーレンさん。これならきっとこの像も忘れられずに済むわ。
あ、忘れるところだった。よし。
Oh, flower crown.
あら、可愛らしい。
それじゃあ行こうか。
Kawaii desu. It's cute. Okay. Do we have? I think we have the full ED here, which it cut off last time. Another thanks Netflix, but I'm trying to watch both. Unremarkable yet special. Wow, that. This is nice too. Oh, I like it. And once again, the animation is absolutely beautiful here. Like if the OP is a bop, this is a vibe. Ooh, interesting. Cutting back and forth between Japanese and English. That was I like that ED. Some of the steps of her, some of the shots of her like walking in every couple steps, like it changes like the background, the locale, kind of reminded me of the ending to the Owl House with Luz walking, and it's different parts of the Boiling Isles that you would see. I didn't think I'd be making an Owl House reference today. But the point I was gonna make is this how every episode is gonna go? Because here I was thinking, like, yes, even though Heiter died in this one, it was a lot less emotionally devastating than when Himmel died in the last one, because you know we had the whole breakdown of Frieren there. Even right before we saw him dying, we had the meteor shower, and we had the whole I held on to this demon horn for you because I knew I could return it to you someday and I could keep my promise, right? And now, you know, putting that into context too, like he really did love her, didn't he? Enough that, you know, he knew that she had her own life to go and that he would stay and he'd be there for her whenever she comes back. But here I was going through this whole episode thinking like, well, this is, you know, I felt better about making jokes. Hey, I got to be a funny guy a little bit today, I feel. But I felt better about making the jokes, like I said, and there was nothing that was really emotionally devastating. But then we saw that flashback scene with the, I'd love to show you these flowers someday. And it's just like, oh, he never got to show her. And now she gets to see, and she says, it took longer than I expected, but I finally got to see them. Oh, is every episode going to have one of those like precision, like pinpoint, like sniper rifle, hit me right in the motorcade kind of shots taken at me, because oh man, this is a really good show. Like after the first episode, it was like I was just more so getting used to what the format was going to be like, how it was going to feel, and there was a lot to set up in that first episode. And like I said, it kind of cut off what felt like a random spot. This episode felt like it had a lot more of a traditional ending. We fully cleared up the thing with the flowers, like our side quest. We completed our side quest, right? But we also had that character moment of, why did you choose magic? And then likewise, while, you know, Frieren might have always been gifted and we don't know how she started doing magic, Fern, who was kind of questioning things like, why did I choose magic? We saw that Frieren was doing this for the memory of Himmel. Likewise, we see Fern, she's doing magic because it made Heiter happy, right? The man who took her in when she was young and orphaned. And I think that's just such a beautiful little parallel, right? Oh, this is a good show. I like it a lot. Like I said, I think now that I've got a couple episodes under my belt, if we just kind of get episodic things of Frieren and Fern, and eventually this red-haired guy that I saw in the OP, you know, I'm here for that. If we get a big overall overarching plot too, sure, I'm fine with that as well. But as far as like the episodic stuff, like I wouldn't mind if we just got a lot of this. I'm the kind of guy that when I play a big RPG and I get a bunch of side quests that open up to me, I do them all immediately. I take my dang sweet time to get the main plot done. I'm doing every side quest. I'm taking forever to play through Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 Rebirth, because every time I get a big field open to me, I was like, I have to do all the things. I have to get all the chocobo stops. I have to do all Chadley's research. I have to do everything. I'm like, what feels like 40 hours into the game, and I've only gotten through the second big portion of open area. So that's my fault. I could go a lot faster. You know, forget the summons, forget Gilgamesh, forget everything. But I have to do it all. And that's much how Frieren is as well, right? Like I said, she's going for the platinum trophy here for her life. And you know, also it's a byproduct of her knowing that she does have all the time in the world. You know, and even places that she's been, you know, it's been some places she might not have been for 20, 30, 40 years. There's bound to be new people with new side quests there. It's like a never ending side quest getting for her. And, you know, like I said, a lot of those spells seem really, really nice, especially the warm tea. I'm almost out, but, you know, good for her with that spell too. Hey, I really like this episode. I feel like the show's finally starting to click for me. Hopefully it's appreciated, the subtitles, right? I still need to check out the English dub just to see what it's like a little bit. Maybe I'll go back and I'll watch episode 1 in English if I find it. So I'll check that out. Hopefully I'll have a little report for you next time, but I don't think I have anything else to say about this episode today. But regardless, thank you once again for watching. Don't forget to leave a like on your way out. Please leave me a comment on the show. How am I doing as a reactor here? Because I always like to think I'm doing an okay job, but if I'm being out of line or anything like that, like let me know. Because, you know, I'm trying to do a good job here, right? I'm trying to bring my own spin to this and to just see what happens as I watch, I guess. But regardless, hey, thank you once again for watching. Come back next time for the next episode of Frieren Beyond Journey's End. Take it easy, everybody.